Mark chapter 15 verse 24 to 26 records that Jesus' crucifixion took place in the third hour of the day. However, when one reads John chapter 19 verse 14 to verse 16, one is told that Jesus' trial before Pilate, which took place before his crucifixion, took place at about the 6th hour. The question then is, how can Jesus be tried around the 6th hour and be crucified in the third hour? The 6th hour and the third hour, which comes first? And the trial and the crucifixion, which one came first? This question has prompted this video, which endeavors to analyze the issue and to settle the argument around this particular issue. The channel still remains Biblical Research and Innovation Network for Africa, Brain for Africa or BRAINFA. I believe you are enjoying the videos on the channel, and I do encourage you to subscribe if you have not already done so, and also to share the link and hit the notification bell so that whenever I send any new video to the link, you will have notification to watch it. The solution requires that we look at the different time systems that we have. Here we are looking at two time systems. We are looking at the Roman time system and the Jewish time system. According to the Roman time system, the day begins at 12 midnight. That is the system that we are currently using, where 12 a.m. begins a new day and it runs to 11:59 p.m. We are using the Roman system. Then we have the Jewish system, which begins at 6 p.m. So in the evening, what we call evening, in the evening the day has begun. Then it will run from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. will go up to 5:59 p.m. the following day. That is why in Genesis chapter 1 we find, and there was evening, there was morning, the first day, the second day, and so on and so forth, because the evening is the beginning of the day, and the morning, representing the daytime, is the end of the day. So in this case, the morning represents the daytime, that is from 6 a.m. to 5:59, and the evening will represent from 6 p.m. to 5:59 a.m. before we get to 6 a.m. The fact that different time systems existed in the ancient world is shown in the following quote by Pliny the Elder, and I quote, "The day itself has been differently observed in different countries, by the Babylonians between two sunrises, by the Athenians between two sunsets, by the Umbrians from noon to noon, by the Roman priests and those who have defined the civil day, as the Egyptians also, and Hipparchus from midnight to midnight." Unquote. Macrobius confirms the Roman time system in the following quote: "The day which the Romans have declared to begin at the 6th hour of the night, that is midnight." Unquote. Therefore, what will be 6 a.m. according to the Roman civil day, and likewise according to our modern practice, would be the first hour according to the Athenian and Hebrew practice. Mark follows the Jewish time system, according to which the day began in the evening at 6 p.m. and the morning of that day began at 6 a.m. So that if you are referring to the third hour of the day, having begun the morning from 6 a.m., you will have 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and 9 a.m. So his third hour in this case refers to 9 a.m. because he counted from 6 a.m., which begins the day part of the day, the daytime of the day. This means that Mark's third hour, which was about 9 a.m., was the time that the trial of Jesus was coming to an end, so that he could be led to Golgotha, the place where he was crucified. John's 6th hour is 6 a.m. Why do I say so? Because John is using the Roman system, which begins at 12 midnight. So when he says 6th hour, then he's talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. That is, if we start from 12 midnight. Therefore, the trial before Pilate, which John says took place at about the 6th hour, took place early in the morning at about 6 a.m., 3 hours before his crucifixion. This explanation fits perfectly with the sequence of events and line up precisely with what John said elsewhere. Remember that in John chapter 12 verse 28, we are told that Jesus was standing before Pilate early in the morning. Mark, for instance, has the Jewish council reaching a decision very early in the morning, and this is found in Mark chapter 15 verse 1. So that Mark's very early in the morning corresponds to John's 6th hour, which is about 6 a.m. It is therefore possible to fit the judgment of Pilate in at sufficiently early an hour for it to be described as being around the 6th hour, or about 6 a.m. To repeat what I've said earlier, John is using the Roman time system, and Mark is using the Hebrew and Athenian time system. But the question remains, why those choices? Why is John using the Roman time system, and why is Mark using the Hebrew or the Athenian time system? The answer lies in the time and the location of John when the gospel was composed. It is believed that John wrote his gospel almost 30 years after the other gospels were written, and he did so in Ephesus, which was the capital of the Roman province of Asia. Writing from the capital of the Roman province of Asia, Paul deemed it fit to use the Roman time to satisfy his audience, at least his immediate audience, for them to appreciate what exactly he was talking to them about. In such an environment, using Jewish time references would have been confusing to the audience. It was therefore important for John to convert the time system that he knew from the Hebrew time system to the Roman time system for them to easily appreciate his message. This is not the only place where John used the Roman civil day time system. There are other places, and one of them is John chapter 20 verse 19 to 23, where he extends his day till midnight. Saying that he has extended his day till midnight means that he is considering midnight as the end of one day and the beginning of another, which is the Roman time system. Here we know that John extends his day to midnight because the time he was referring to was after sundown, and yet considered it as Sunday instead of Monday if he was referring to the Jewish time system. To conclude, following the time systems explained above and the fact that the two different writers used these two different time systems shows that there is no contradiction in the passages or the accounts, but rather a report from different perspectives in terms of time. One is using a different time system from the other, and it allows them to say the 6th hour and the 3rd hour with different kind of perspectives. I do encourage you to read more on this and to study God's word from the right perspective. God richly bless you. Bye for now.